Have you ever wondered what the end of the world would truly look like? We imagine alien invasions, devastating wars, or natural disasters. But what if the greatest threat wasn't something from the outside, but something we created ourselves? Today, we're diving into a story that twists the very fabric of reality. A narrative that explores the terrifying depths of human denial and the desperate measures we might take to avoid facing the truth. This isn't just a story about aliens and time loops. It's a story about us. Imagine this. A flash of impossible light, brighter than 1,000 suns, silences a city in an instant. Buildings turn to dust, streets to ash. From a command center buried deep beneath the earth, Commander Elias watches the world he swore to protect vanish. This is the moment the invaders win. This is the end. But for Elias, it's also a beginning. In his hand, he holds a strange, jagged Object-Tan alien artifact recovered from a prior battle. It hums with an unearthly energy, glowing with a light that seems to defy physics. With no other choice, he activates it. The world dissolves into a nauseating blur of color and sound. Time doesn't just stop, it violently reverses. The screams of the dying, the roar of the super weapon, the very memory of annihilation, it all spools backward. Elias feels a gut-wrenching lurch, and then silence. He gasps, his eyes snapping open. He's back in the command center. Alarms are blaring, but they are the alarms of warning, not of defeat. On the main screen, the countdown clock reads 10 minutes. 10 minutes until the invasion begins. Again, he knows what's coming. Towering, shadowy monoliths, so vast they blot out the sun, will descend from the clouds. They move with an unnatural grace, silent and foreboding. These are the ships of the invaders. But we never see the aliens themselves. They remain terrifying silhouettes, entities of shadow and blinding light. Their weapons are beams of pure energy that vaporize soldiers where they stand, leaving nothing but a lingering heat and the ghost of a scream. The war is brutal, hopeless, and swift. In the first loop, Elias tries to warn everyone. He screams at his superiors, detailing the exact attack vectors. The timing of the weapon discharge, the precise moment of their annihilation. They look at him like he's lost his mind. He's dragged to the brig, shouting uselessly as the timeline plays out exactly as he foretold. The flash comes, and he resets. In the next loop, he takes matters into his own hands. He abandons protocol, grabs a rifle, and fights on the front lines, hoping his foreknowledge can save just one squad, one street, one life. He dies. A beam of light catches him as he pushes a fellow soldier out of the way. He resets. Another loop. This time he tries to sabotage the enemy from within. He uses his knowledge of their patterns to sneak past the initial onslaught. He finds himself in the twisted, non-Euclidean architecture of the monoliths. The air hums with an oppressive energy. He is discovered. Shadowy figure turns, and he is erased from existence. He resets. We witness a montage of his failures, a symphony of death and rebirth. Elias is crushed by falling debris. He's caught in a crossfire. He sacrifices himself to take down one of the smaller enemy constructs, even tries to flee, to escape the city before the chaos begins, only to find there is no escape. The invasion is everywhere. With each death, he wakes up again on that command center floor, the 10-minute alarm blaring in his ears. The memory of his last failure, fresh and agonizing, is a ghost in his own life, trapped in an eternal 10-minute-long war. The artifact in his pocket is both his curse and his only hope. He learns. Each loop is a lesson written in blood and pain. He memorizes every enemy movement, every soldier's position, every single second of the 10-minute battle. He becomes a perfect soldier, a prophet of a war that only he fully understands. He moves through the battlefield, not with the frantic energy of a soldier, but with the grim determination of a man who has died 1,000 times and is willing to die 1,000 more. His goal is no longer just to survive, but to understand. Why is this happening? What do they want? He needs to reach the heart of their operation, the command center of the main monolith. After what feels like an eternity, hundreds, maybe thousands of loops, he finally sees his chance, perfected his path, a deadly dance through a war he knows by heart. He slips through the chaos, using the explosions and destruction as cover. He enters the central monolith, the largest of them all. the one that always delivers the final city-destroying blow. Inside, the silence is deafening. There are no alien soldiers, no guards, no bustling command crew. The corridors are sterile, metallic, and empty. They lead him to a single, vast, spherical chamber at the very heart of the ship. And in this chamber, there's nothing. No throne, no alien overlord, no master weapon control. There is only a smooth, mirror-like wall that encompasses the entire room. He approaches it cautiously, his rifle raised. As he gets closer, a figure emerges from the reflective surface to meet him. It's him, Commander Elias. But this version of him is older, his face a roadmap of exhaustion and despair, his uniform tattered and ancient. He looks broken. The Elias in the mirror doesn't speak. He doesn't have to. As Elias stares into his own defeated eyes, the truth crashes down on him with a force greater than any alien weapon. It's a realization so horrific it makes the endless cycle of death seem like a mercy. There are no aliens. There never were. Monoliths in the sky, the beams of light, the shadowy figures. It's all a phantom, a projection, a hallucination on a global scale. So, what is the artifact? What is this machine? He remembers its origin now, fragments of a past he had been forced to forget. It wasn't an alien artifact. It was a human invention, a temporal machine, a last-ditch effort from a world on the brink of collapse. The truth is, humanity had already lost a different war. Not against aliens, but against themselves. We had poisoned our planet, exhausted our resources, and set in motion an irreversible ecological collapse. The end wasn't coming from the stars. It was coming from our own silent, dying world. Faced with the slow, quiet, and undignified silence of extinction, humanity made a choice. A terrible, insane choice. They couldn't face the end. They couldn't accept the consequences of their actions. So, they created a grand distraction. They built a machine that would trap the last vestiges of humanity in a 10-minute loop, not of peace, but of glorious, honorable war. They chose to live their final moments over and over again, fighting a phantom enemy, dying a hero's death, rather than face the quiet emptiness of a world they had murdered. They chose a lie. The invasion wasn't an attack. It was a program. A story humanity decided to tell itself until the end of time. And Elias, he's not just a soldier. He's the failsafe. It's the one person with the key to reset the loop, to ensure the fantasy never ends. The one who carries the burden of this horrifying truth. The video ends with Elias standing in the mirror chamber, the silent, empty heart of the alien ship. He looks down at the jagged artifact in his hand. His hand is trembling. For a moment, he has a choice. He could let the loop break. He could let the 10 minutes pass. Let the hallucination fade. Force what's left of humanity to face the silent, dying world they created. He could let them face the silence of extinction. But as he looks at his own reflection, at the endless pain etched onto his face, he knows what he will do. He knows what he has always done. The comfort of the known battle, the purpose found in the hopeless fight, is a siren's call too strong to resist. It's better than the alternative. It's better than the silence. With a deep, shuddering breath, a tear tracing a path through the grime on his face, he activates the artifact. The world dissolves once more. He's choosing to live the lie, to die again and again, because the truth is simply too much to bear. And as the alarms begin to blare in the command center once more, we're left with a chilling question. If faced with an unbearable truth, would we choose a beautiful lie? Thank you so much for watching. This story really makes you think about the narratives we create for ourselves. If you enjoyed this dive into speculative fiction, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges your perception of reality. Let me know in the comments what you would do in Elias's position. Until next time, stay curious.